This reads, Visual poetry? A viewer unfamiliar with the term may ask, isn't all poetry at some level visual? That certainly can be true. The arrangement of the words on a page can turn a sentence into a poem, but poems can be experienced by sight or by sound. Sometimes a poem is more effective when read aloud. By contrast, visual poetry is, simply put, poetry that needs to be seen rather than heard to be appreciated. Manifested in a variety of ways, visual poetry is often associated with concrete poetry, poems, sometimes abstract, in which the letters are arranged in a pattern or a shape, usually suggested by the subject of the poem. All concrete poems are visual, but not all visual poems is concrete. In visual poetry, images become part of the text, or even take the place of text. Visual poetry encompasses words and images for a distinct form of poetry, much the same way that an instrumental melody can make you feel something. A visual poem doesn't require words. As seen throughout visual poetry, New Vistas, and the adjacent visual poetry plus color, the medium of visual poetry can be as varied as any other mode of visual art. The 8 regional artists in New Vistas, along with the 44 artists from outside both the region and the US in visual poetry plus color, each approach poetry in unique ways. The artists in the latter were invited to contribute to an 8-inch square panel, while the New Vista artists were invited because of the relationship of their work to visual poetry. Some have always considered the poetic aspects of their work or intentionally made poetry, and for others, this has opened up new ways of thinking about their practice. The language of visual art, shape, line, texture, color, speaks volumes in some works, while in others, words are woven in or become shapes. Hinting at natural systems, Marisa Kavanaugh's bright and intricate patterns of circles, dots, and dashes beg to be decoded. In her hypnotic, lyrical videos, Laura Freire also meditates on nature, while for Mary Catherine Jablinski, words and imagery are intertwined in a delicate balance dependent on each other. Their individual styles meld beautifully in Compass, their collaborative video chapbook. Dre LaRose's digital collaged imagery recalls the sensation of reading a new language. The letters may be familiar, but the way they've arranged is wholly new. Kelsey Renko's love language is color. Her vibrant, emotive paintings envelop you in it. Emotion is also foreground in Kim Tato's interactive work, a constantly changing poem reflecting, both literally and figuratively, the viewers who engage with it, Yi Chin Tai's painting recalls Chinese calligraphy, each elegant stroke embedded with meaning for the viewer to divine. Co-curator Willie Marlowe's found poetry from fortune cookies and Crossword Lake ziggurat poems remind us that poetry is all around us. In a world inundated with imagery, this, ultimately, is the invitation this exhibition extends. Poetry is everywhere, if you expand your definition of it. Let it find you wherever you go. Amy Griffin, September 2023, Director of Opalka Gallery and Russell Sage College in Albany, New York. MFA Photography, Hunter College, CUNY Photography, University of North Texas.
Time, dream, is what those last two say, and then wind. But missing one. This one's not working. They cut a hole in the campus. Looks like eyes. Pause it here if you want to read. This one doesn't have a title.
I hope you enjoyed this look at this art gallery that I found in Troy. This exhibit was only here for this week only, which was, I believe this was filmed December 5th. Could be wrong about that. December 4th, actually. So there's a whole new gallery there already. I do plan on coming back to this exhibit to see what other art that they have on display. I hope you enjoyed watching and walking through this display. There was a sign-in book there that I just pointed out, and just one last shot of the entire gallery. If you're in the capital region, I highly recommend coming to this location, as there is beautiful art pieces that invoked a lot of interesting feelings, and in this one especially, the idea of poetry can be found anywhere. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one out there. Bye, everyone.